Let me try time, oh. See, see, but don't come. Come, we go and jiggle the rock steady and some see, jump for the bed, jump for the west. See, shake your body. Roll up with the short feet, roll up with the west. See, roll up, baby. Roll up, baby. Roll up, baby. Roll up, everybody say, do the sing, roll up, baby. Roll up, baby. Roll up, say, do the sing, so. We can move right down to the hand. Open I want to enter inside. All the robbers on the creeks. Everybody wish we touch my story. So today, not today, I go up and tell us you fight and stand. Any turn of time you be, I go give you all my money. You go be anti-prosperity. That is if you tell and for me. Roll and make it. Roll and make it. Roll and make it. Everybody say to the sing. Flexibility at its finest. For this super no one can control. Include that set, feed on the decks. I'm out here, baby, see, get you two sets. People when they dance with you, they sweat. But to you fresh, you see the flex. I'm out here to become, look, we make sense. If you hold me, yeah. Any turn of time, baby, I will give you all my money. You will be anti-prosperity. That is it, we tell from me. Roll and make it. Roll and make it. Roll and make it. Everybody say to the sing. Roll and make it. Say to the sing. Come we don't have to go with Rocksteady and some fever. That's that money go Jawaya. That's for the baby, that's for the girl. Roll up with the shorty, roll up with the girl. I be you there wait for a Rocksteady bed. Okay, madam, that's for the girl. Each other was a control of fighting another place. Inside the place, but you just send the grace. You don't give me too much, don't give no time to disgrace. No one thinks I get the things that I talk with the grace. Now you sabi show past, I only you the blaze. Respect is where to talk up when you listen when we come to the ground. You don't think it's a really good love. Everybody say to the sing. Say to the sing. Everybody say to the sing. See my run to DJ, we are the region come for me. Chicken J, oh my God, no fighting on the place, no quarantine in the place. We're on there, it's only Monica Joe. Come on, we let Joe. Oh my lado. Remember, my boy. Zip, baby. Vocal chameleon. I can't concentrate no more. I don't even sleep no more. Every time I wake up here, I see your face. I see your face.
Listen, I rap with the nigga who to from Balkan. Baby, my brother, but she steady right for me. I said my brother, but say she could die for me. Make quick, love for this, but I come sing coming.
Juju.
You got to be them, baby. You got to be them. Hey.
Juju. Say yeah, you do Juju. You You do me juju.
Hello, everybody. Hi, everybody. How we doing, everybody? Can you hear me? If you can hear me loud and clear, please let me know in the chat if you cannot hear me. Can everybody hear me very, very, very well? All good? Just thumbs up in the chats. You know, we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I can see we have a number of people on Twitter today. So yeah, how's everybody doing? Welcome. Shout out to that. Okay, I can remove this banner now. We are good to go here. Hi. Once again, it is me, Sani Yusuf. It's a very, very sunny day. I'm tempted to get on my, the Shay's swag. Like, yo, hi, baby girl. Why don't you let me Hakuna Your Matata so there'll be no worries? Don't say that. Do not use that to try to move to somewhere. All right. Hi, it's, everybody. Welcome to this episode of us updating the Karoon website. We're going to be adding the Karoon website. So this is like, yes, I know we're going to be coding live, but it's not really just for coders alone. It's for people that care about the coronavirus and everything, want to see some features. So I have some new features that we're going to add today, but feel free, you're allowed to dial in and join, so you can actually join the particular show, and I can have you, and then we can sort of like help build this thing together. You don't have to know how to code, it's just stuff. So I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to share my screen, share screen. I'm going to share this particular screen so we can have this. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen here. So you can see this is my Twitter page, and this is the Karoon website. So this is what we have built so far. You can see it's up to date with the date. We have this particular website. We have the cases, recovered cases, deaths, active cases, and we have like a pie chart that shows you the breakdown. And we also have all the states, and you can click each individual state, go to Lagos, and you can see that the specific cases for Lagos state specifically. And you can do that for pretty much every other state. You can see that we have Lagos, Kano, FCT, Borno, Gombe, Katsina. These are like the states that have a lot. I think Ogun State is a very typical case. They have a huge amount of people that have been discharged. So it's one of those things. So we're going to be, the feature I want us to add today is we want to add, like we've recently, my friend that works on the back end has recently gotten us the data that allows us to see the initial data for pretty much every single state from like the get-go. So from the very, 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 very beginning, right? And the same for the graphs as well. You can see like the graphs for Nigeria from the very beginning. So today I want us to add that to the dashboard where we can add like a line graph that shows the case, how the cases in Nigeria, the flattening the curve, and we'll have that for also the individual states, but we'll start with the global feature first, right? If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the chat. So just before we start, we're going to go to our particular web page. Okay, I am actually showing you my work. So no, I should probably not, I haven't shown anything sensitive here. Good. This is Project Corona. This is the what we have built in here so far. Let's try and make sure we can only see 24 lines of code. And this is what the code looks like. So we're going to go ahead and actually, because we're using Angular, we're going to just run this command called ngserve. And this is gonna, this is not the command, ngserve. And this is gonna launch our website for us on localhost 4200. If you're not familiar with Angular, don't worry about it. I'm just starting up the server for the application. That's all I'm doing. And feel free to share this with people on Twitter, in your timeline, and everything like that. So feel free. Okay, so let's go to Twitter. Let's just keep an eye on Twitter, making sure like I'm not getting any messages that I'm not aware of. It's actually a pretty gorgeous day in London. It's a really, really amazing day. So we're going to open this up. I'm going to open this localhost 4200. So I'm going to go here. This is Karoon.com, and you can access this at Karoon.com. So here, this is our local version of the Karoon.com website. And I'm also going to open the Apex theme, which is the theme that we're using, so that we can use it to get some like inspiration. So if I go to the dashboard here, this is sort of like what I'm after. Let me make this a little bit larger. Let me close the customizer. So this is sort of like what I'm after here. There's something like looks like this, a line graph that shows like a time series, right, over time. So you can, or something like this as well. You can do something like that. But I think this one is much more like appropriate. This is exactly what we're after. We want to show how the deaths and the cases have recovered, so, or also something like this. So we kind of want to see that. This also works. So basically, you can see different variations of the line graph. So I'm actually going to open this up. I'm going to open the theme website. So I'm going to say open the starter. I'm going to open this in a new page, and we're going to see what that looks like. So if let's have a look at this particular one. So we need to go to let's start with this one, the visit and sales statistics. So let's go to the line graph on dashboard 1. So if we open here, we go to layout, and we go to content, or full content, pages. Okay, no, we're in the wrong particular application here. So we need to go to, I believe this is the one we're looking for. So we say this window here, and we take that up to where we're sharing, and we share this out. I think we are in the wrong place again. Come on, Sunny. What is happening with us today? Okay, this has been removed from the list. Let's see. Oh, actually, we don't need to do that, because we can actually go to our own web page, and we should be able to see that here. Yeah, dashboard. So we go to dashboard 1, component HTML, and we search for visit and sales statistics. So let's search for visit. So this is it, visit and sales statistics. So we are using chart list, which is a different chart library. I'm guessing this one is for, it's a different chart library that we are using here. Let's see if we can stick to our ng2 charts. ng2 charts. Let's see if we can stick to that, because my friends, why do we want to stick to this? My friends bloody created it, and I like my friends. I like to support them. So this is what their own line graph, let's make this larger, looks like. This is what their own line graph looks like. Let's see. This is a scatter, a bubble, polar chart, a radar, donut, bar, and this is what it looks like. I mean, theirs is pretty simple to use. I think we can use it, although I do like this one a little bit better. I do like the way this looks. This one, it does kind of show. So let's see. Decisions. This is our X chart list. Let's see if we can use X chart list. Okay, so it's ng chart list. Let's go to the documentation and the docs of this particular one, right? So let's see. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So it's totally up to us to decide on what we want to use, really. I think we're just going to default to this one because we already are using this particular one for the other dashboard, and then I'm pretty sure we can change the labels, we can toggle series B, we can recolor, we can push another one, you can randomize it. So we can do some really, really cool stuff here. So let's just go ahead and try to use this instead. Line chart. So what are we searching for? Let's search for base chart. Is there anything like that in dashboard 2, so that we can just reuse the code? without needing to do much work. So they haven't used anything like that here. So we would have to just sort of more or less create our own. So the first thing I would want us to do is, let me just close everything here. I would go to our home page. We have our home page from, if you watched the previous episodes, we'll go to our home here. And I want to basically Nigeria break state breakdown figures. I will probably want us to create a donut of all the cases. So this is the cases. I will just copy this guy here, and I will create a new section here, which is line graph for case growth over time. All right, we just comment out, put that little bit of CSS comment in there, and line chart nationwide. So again, let's make this a little bit larger. So nationwide line chart, and now we can go ahead and start using that particular piece of what's it called. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this canvas here, literally. Just going to copy this canvas. We're going to paste this canvas here, and I'm going to paste this canvas, and we'll just sort of like copy this piece of data, just this all this data here. We just copy the dummy data, and we take that piece of data here, and we can just, after the donut bar charts, we can just paste them all up here, and then we'll make sure we're importing all the missing imports. So we're missing all the missing imports that we're missing here. Plugin annotations. I can just comment this one out, really. And these reds should index now, and they should be, yeah, exactly. They are now, they have been found. So all good here. So the next thing we're going to kind of do is we're probably going to just go in there and see what the example looks like, the sample looks like. So we need to import chart options, ng chart list. I'm guessing we are going from ng2 charts. So actually, this should be from chart.js, isn't it? There we go. We have the correct import here. And now we can go ahead and preview our local host application, which is where in Corona dashboard Nigeria. So we can sort of like, we have an error here. Home components line 9. So on line 9 there is an error. Okay, here we go. We save that. Okay, this is very what is this? It is really disgusting. Oh, I think I see what we have done here. We have taken the actual chart itself. Right. I don't know why it is extending here. I guess we have set a height for it, right? We can maybe remove that. Let's see, did we set a height for this? Not necessarily. We just put a height. So let's save. Ooh, I don't know why that is happening. That is really interesting. Let's see. Why would this be happening? So it looks like the chart itself is not being contained inside of the what's it called? the chart itself is not being contained inside of the card. So let's see, why would that be happening? Let's check, maybe it's something to do with the options here. Okay. This is just legend true. You have a series A, B, C. That's interesting. Okay, so we need to find a way to make sure that this dummy data is fitting inside of that particular markup. So let's see. We have a section here. So we have a row, another row. Right? So why is it this not working? Let's see. Div ID. We don't need these clickers actually. Start removing some code. You can remove this plugin. Let's wait for it to refresh. I have no idea why this would be happening, because you can see the card is here, but the SVG itself is not being contained in within the card. And that's interesting. I don't know if we can. Let's try and style it here. By the way, I have no idea what I'm doing here, so because I don't know why that was happening. Let's say 400 pixels. Can we force it to actually stay in the container? It doesn't look like it's obeying that particular rule. Interesting. Let's see if we've actually added it to the module itself. That would be an interesting thing to find out. Is it on the module level? So we have charts module. So everything looks Gucci here. Everything looks Gucci here. Line chart. That's interesting. So it doesn't really obey this. Why is it bigger than that? Let's see, is there anything that would be a cause for concern for that? I wonder if we just took this row out of here and we just put it on its own. Let's see. And remove it from the section itself. If that would actually affect. So it doesn't really have any effect at all. At this point, we're just literally doing trial and error. We'll see how would we total case breakdown. I have a line nationwide base chart data set. We have a data set. We have labels. We have options. We have colors. We have legends. Line chart type. That's interesting. So why would this particular thing be? Let's see. The max height to, let's say, 500 pixels. I wonder if we give it a max height. So it is obeying that. It's the graph itself that's being drawn out. we're probably targeting the wrong property here. This is why they said it's very important for you to learn CSS as much as you can. As you can see, my CSS ignorance has finally been revealed. It has been revealed. So let's look at the markup, what they're doing here. So they have a display block just before the container of the canvas. That's interesting. So let's see. Well, of course it's a div. It already has display block. And then let's add this here. Oh, sorry. Let's add this at this level, just like they did here. That doesn't seem to have any effect. That doesn't seem to have any effect. I wonder why that is happening. Interesting. Maybe we should probably use another one to see why this is happening. I wonder why that's happening. Base chart. So let's try and use the other one, this one, the one we wanted to use initially first, and see how we can actually get that to work, because for whatever reason, we're not having as much luck as we thought we would with this particular one. And I don't want us to waste time looking at why that is happening. It's probably something very stupid. Oh yeah, we need to do this. So let's just go to our dashboard here. And we're just going to copy out this particular line area 2. We're going to copy out this particular guy here, and we're going to put him in here. And then now we need to go to the line area stuff. So we need to go to dashboard 1, the line area. So this is what we're going to be copying. Stacked bar configuration. Let's have a look. Also, we only just need to copy this part. So we're just going to copy this part, and we're just going to go here. Let's copy this part, and we're just going to put this here. I guess we need to do some auto imports here to make sure everyone is okay and satisfied. Now let's save this. Let's go on to the application here. Looks like there might be some errors. Let's inspect the element. If we have any errors in the console, we have 78 of them, so something has gone wrong. Cannot read property data type of undefined. Let's see. We've copied this. Do we have anything else that is? Oh, we need to import the charts module to the. Yeah, there we go. Line area 2 is what we're looking. We should have copied actually. This is the one we should have copied. Anything that has line area 2, that's all we should have copied. So this is what we should have copied. And we should have come here and not copy line area, but line area 2. Now we need to do our auto import. Let's see. So we need to make sure we import the chart list from here. importing the chart list. Importing the chart list, and let's use this interface here. Let's just put this interface here. Right, and then we can delete this particular interface. And we can save this. Now let's go try it now. We should see our we do see something. It's just, let's see, do we have any errors? We do have one error. Yeah, it says expected at least type and data. Let's see. We're just trying to replicate what we already have here. But for whatever reason, we're not getting that. Okay. So we can see we imported the chart list module. So what are we missing? What are we missing? What are we missing? Statistics. Is there anything we're missing because something has been instantiated in the constructor? Let's see. Where's the constructor for this particular class? So we're having some real trouble. Const data equals to require. Okay, I think herein lies the problem. I think this is the problem here. No, yeah. Okay, so this directory is correct. Let's see. There we go. So something's happening in here. If we go to this file, there's they're requiring the data in here. They're loading in this particular piece of data. And what we can actually do is we can literally it's a very crude way. It's a very, very crude way of requiring. Very, very crude way to require a file. But I guess what we can do here is we can copy this file here, and instead we can just say, you know, const data equals this, and just delete this. And I think it should still work the same way, because we don't need to use require.js. I'm not really a fan of require.js. I've never been a fan. I never will be a fan of require.js. So let's see. Come on, I've just saved, and now let's refresh. Okay, so that's it. Wonderful. We have some cases over time. We can see stuff over time. So this is probably what we want to achieve. Something like looks like this, right? We want to achieve this. And it would be nice for us to achieve this. So we would want to have the cases for the, we want to get the cases for, what's it called, over time? All the deaths over time, right? And then the, what's it called, over time? So I can quickly show you what let me show you a snapshot of our database here, or what, what's it called, looks like. Let me take so basically we're going to create we already have an interface here. So I'm going to go to that interface to explain to you what the data is actually going to look like. So we're going to go to homepage.html.ts. Now we are using Corona data. So Corona data, sorry, I've just got an important phone call. I'm going to take it. So I'm going to put everybody on mute. Sorry, everyone on the live stream. I had to take that important phone call. Anyways, we will need to augment this. So what we've done is my friend has changed the database, right? Well, he's added a new property. So right now we have this active cases property, which we don't actually really use. Sorry, his latest property. Where is it? We don't really use. So we can make this a little bit optional. And then now we're going to add a date property that is optional because we're using two different. It's a string, so we're expecting the date should be in like is xx /xx/xx, so like 05/05/2020, because that way it sorts. So that's kind of what we're going to go and do. So what we're going to go and do is we will need to go and fetch that particular piece of data. So let's go. So let's go to home component.html.ts, home component.ts, right? Home component.ts. So we're going to go to this service here, and we're going to create a new so 24 lines. So we're going to create a new method here that would go get our data for us. I'll probably say get content new. Get content data new. This is the new one. And what it should go to the collection name. So we're actually going to change this collection name to the new database. Okay, snapshots Nigeria. I'm going to say collection name new, and then we're just going to do this. And then if we go back to the code here, this should be okay. It's the same database. It's just now we have collection name new. What we're doing here is basically now we are saying go and get the data. So what it would do is it would go fetch all the data, and instead of the first one, actually, it shouldn't find the one that's latest equals true. It should just go and just get as array. Should just change this to an array, and here Corona data is an array. So it's going to return us an array of data, and then from there we will just use that particular piece of data. So I'm just going to open this here. Data list. I'm going to call it data list here, right? Data is history list. So it's a history of all the cases, right? So let's make sure. So you can see this is what we're calling that particular thing now. So how we're going to go and achieve it. So let's have a look at the line graph, how it works, the data of the line graph. So if we look at the line chart here, this is the line chart, and for lines, so this is where is the data being used. So you can see it says data in line area 2. So let's look for line area 2 here, and then Okay, so that's here. We had a data, huh? Where do we just pasted the data, isn't it? Just like not too long ago. Okay, where is data? Oh, what have we done here? We pasted it in the wrong place. So we need to go back to dashboard1.ts. Here is where we look at what we did here. We pasted the data here. No. So we've taken this here. We're going to copy it and then we're going to paste it. We're going to remove this here and then we'll paste this hard-coded code. And then now if we do our search and we say search line area true, we should have 3 places that line area. So this is what it looks like. You need to pass in an object, right? The data needs to be like this, the object. So this is like January, February, March, right? January, February, March. What's it called? So the way we're passing the data is we pass a series of information, right? So I'm guessing it's this. So this is the first series, this is the second series, and I think this is like the first series is for this one, and the second series is for this one. So for us, we will have 2 series, right? We're going to have deaths, because we have the information for deaths, and we also have the information for cases till date. So we can, the way we will do it actually, potentially is to then make sure that we are, but what we have is dates. So I don't know if it will be wise for us to make this about dates or it should make it about months. Because when we make it about dates, it's going to be a lot of days on this graph, and I don't know how that graph is going to look like. That's going to be the interesting one. Should we group them? Let's start with the dates first. Let's start with dates. So here's what we're going to do. Let's start. We can always refactor later on. So we're going to go to the home component here. Going to go here. We're going to just minimize all of this data, and we're going to go to, well, we'll say this dot Nigeria history list equals this dot mongodb stitch dot get content data new. Now we need to do something first of all. So the data is not sorted. We need to sort, but before we sort, we're going to use the dates property. So this is what the dates property looks like. Like I said, it looks something like 05, 09, 2020, like that, in that date as a string. The only way you can sort this particular string is, first of all, you need to convert it to a number, right? You need to convert it to a number first, and then when you convert to a number, if it's this like as an integer, then you will be able to what's it called, to do it, right? So so we can finally we can do a string replace character in string. We can do a string replace, or we can do a string. So JavaScript does have a what's it called? A way for you to replace characters, right? And it can replace that. So we're going to do that. So what we will do is we'll say get content, then we'll pipe this particular piece of data because we're using observables, right? And then in that pipe, the first thing we'll call is a map operator. We'll call a map operator, and then we'll call this map operator case list, and then we say this is the case history list. It's an array, and what we're going to do is we'll say case history list dot map case history const case history list equals, and I'll take this object assign as a new object. I'm trying to just make a copy of this object. I like to do that. It's sometimes redundant, but I like to do it so that I'm not mutating anything. It's just a good habit. And now you say case history dot map case data for date. So what we want to do is you then say that particular case data for date dot date equals case data dot date dot replace we want to replace the character, this character, with nothing, with an empty string, right? Because that way it would dictate. Then we need to pass this as a number. So we need to pass as number or parse int. Sorry, parse int. Need to parse this as an integer. Pass int, and as the second parameter, we need to pass 10, and then we just copy this line of code here. Actually, this is not very readable. This is not very readable. So instead, what we do is const. Let's start again, right? Const is data date equals case data dot date. This is the date, right? Then now case data dot date is equal to we do a pass int. Here we can, let's see, the replace, does it return a new string? Case data date. So yes, this is the case data for that particular date, and then we take that particular date and then we say what exactly are we doing? We take that particular case data for the date, we take the date, and then we say, okay, case data dot date, because I want to make this more readable instead of just very functional, because some people find that a little bit difficult. So now case data dot date, we then say we parse int case data dot date right, case data dot replace that way. Okay, we have said that this is always going to be a string, so we can also say it's case data string, or sometimes it can also be a or let's add another property. Actually, let's just add another property. This is much easier. Date in number for format, and this is a number, right? Or we can name it actually sortable date. This is the sortable date. And then we can close this one here. We can close this here as well, and then sortable date. So we can go on here and say sortable date, and we say part integer case date that replace. We replace this with this. So this is exactly what we're doing, right? And then we are returning then we return is equals. Okay, so that's it, and then we return is data for date. So that's what we do. We return that, right? Do we need to return anything here? Yes, I guess we do. And then here, then as the array, we return the case history list like that, right? We return it. So now this would mean that every single, so if we just tap in here, oh, not in here, I guess. Oh, actually, yes, we can tap in here. That we call the tap operator here. We say data console.log data. We type in the console.log. We type in that data here. But we need to subscribe first. Subscribe and just say pass in an empty function, right? That does nothing. And then if we go here, we should be able to have a look at that source data. Case history list.map is not a function. Of course, because case history. Case history list. What is being returned? Let's look at what is being returned. Okay, so this is it is an array is being returned. Yes, an array is being returned. So of course it will have. Look at what we're doing. We are Sunny. We're doing object.assign here. No, this because it's not an object. We shouldn't be doing that. We should actually be deconstructing this array here. We converted it to an object. So this should be assign should get away from here, right? And this should also, we should just do ... This is what we need to do here. This is all we need to do, and then this should go ahead and exactly. So now if we look at that, oh, it has not changed. There's a problem here. Console.log. Okay, it hasn't changed. We have a problem. Houston, we got a problem. Hello, Thug Debugger. How are you? Hello. Thug Debugger. I feel like I know this person. Is it my brother from Guyana? Yeah, so it looks like you. So it's still a string here. Oh, actually, no, we have a new property, right? Sortable date. Oh, so something's wrong here. Something is wrong here. Something is wrong here. This says 505. Something is wrong here. So we are replacing this particular string, right? Dot replace. Huh. That's interesting. Huh. Oh, look. Very important. We need to pass the base property, base 10. Let's see if that's the mistake that we made. We didn't pass the base property. So let's look at some of the data here. Oh, it's not complete. It's not complete. It's not complete. Sortable date is 20. It's only taking the first two for whatever reason. Let's look at the JavaScript string character replace. We're replacing. Also, there is a replace. Yeah, that's what we're using, right? The replace method searches a string for a specified value or regular expression and returns a new string where the specified values are replaced. Okay. So what is the problem here? Yeah, we're saying replace this, because if you look at this here, we can close this up. We're saying replace this, which is this. Sortable date should be 5/05/2020, not 5/05. Oh, actually, can we just sort the date out? That's interesting. Yeah, we should be able to just sort. Why do we need to convert it? Because actually it will be very irregular because it will always strip out the first zeros. No, this is not going to work. Let's Google JS dates. Right, and we can sort the dates out. Oh, so you can use the sort. This might actually be a much better technique actually. So case equals to new date, right? And date takes in year, month, and date, right? So then we will say we need to split this string, and we'll split it by its separator, and then it will be in position 2, right? The month will be in position 1, and this will be in position 0. Why is this complaining? An argument trap is not a type of string number. Date takes number. The dates. Well, it wants them a number, so we can parse as an integer. Pass int this, and then we do this in base 10, right? So we do the same thing for here. Let's just make this prettier so that people can actually read it properly. We do the same thing here. We take this guy here, and we comment it or cut him out, and paste this guy here. Oh, sorry. We paste, 2, 1. Actually, we just need to remove this and just duplicate this line here. Add a comma here, and then add a 0 here. Someone has a comment. I guess issues are in our COVID-19 records. Well, yeah. So you're right in the sense that there is no API. This API we kind of created it ourselves. So that's how we just got the data. So sortable date is actually noun or number. So we need to go where we created sortable date and say it's of type date. I don't know if you can have a type date here in TypeScript. Apparently not. So it's going to be of type any, I guess, at this point in time, right? So now you have a date property, and then you're returning that, and then we can go ahead and sort that particular. So why is this complaining? TypeScript structure is missing the following observable source. I guess. This is interesting. I haven't got a clue why this is complaining. So let's have a look at the data now being returned. So you have a sortable date. It says Friday, January, February, March, April, May. No, this should not be June. This should be May. Of course, the dates are, the months are, in JavaScript are, you have to -1, or else because their 0 base index is 0 to 11. So you have that problem. So now this date should be correct. It should be 5th of May, exactly. So you can see it here. It is correct, 5th of May. So this is the one. So now we can actually go ahead and sort this particular piece of data. So we don't need the tap operator no more. And we can actually just sort it right here and say return dot sort. And we pass an A, B, and then we pass in the method, which is return A greater than B, right? I believe that's how you use the sort method. Sorry. A. Oh, not date. There we go. I believe this should sort it for us in the order that we are looking for. Let's just make sure. The good old days of sorting dates in JavaScript. All right. Oh well, we're not. We didn't need to remove that tap operator, did we? Actually, we can just do it here. Data console.log data. Just use S. So let's see. It's starting from the Yes, so we can see it starts from the 12th of March. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we can see that 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, we have sorted this correctly. We have all the way up till today's data, which is 9th. Yes, so we've sorted this correctly. So now we can go ahead and we've mapped out a particular piece of data. So we know this particular, we have the data correctly. Then now we can tap in here. We can come here and use the tap operator. And this is where we're going to corona data. This is where we are going to infiltrate I can get a blueprint of the error. So someone say that they don't believe the data that the NCDC is reporting, and the NCDC can only report data that they have tested. So I'm pretty sure the cases of people that have coronavirus is higher. That's the same in every country, but no one has been able to test all those people. You can't report a case that hasn't been tested, and that's I think for right now. Well, I know. So we're about an hour in. So now we have this particular piece of data. So we need to basically create a method and try to mimic the method to do what we have here, which is line 2, I believe, line area 2. This is what we want to try to achieve. We need to have labels and what's it called? And series. So it's going to be very interesting. So we need to we need to have 2 arrays, one called labels, one called series. The first array of labels would be the label of the, I don't know, we can do months, right? We can do them for months. I guess we could. I guess we could, right? I guess we could. We could group these things via the months, right? We could do that, and I don't know if the labels is mandatory. We're only one way to find out, really. So what we need to do now is we need to copy this particular piece of code, right? We need to go here and say const data equals data for line graph equals it's going to be it's an object, right? We're passing an object. It's an object that has it's an object that has labels and as an array and series as another array. I'm pretty sure there's an interface here somewhere that we are missing. Okay, there's the interface. iChat list the data. Exactly. I'm pretty sure there's an interface there that we're missing. Right. So you can see we have now added the particular interface, so we know. So if we put like something like that, it will give us an error. That's good, amazing. So we know what we're working with is correct. So now we're going to go and populate the series data, and we would populate deaths. So for each one of them, we'll populate the series. So I guess so we'll say corona data dot for each. Every single one of them. Let's change this to corona data list so that we know that we're working with a list. I like to use list or array. Totally up to you. Corona data, right? You take inside there, you take that, and then you say For each and every one of those, you say series, let's say data line graph in series is an array, but it's a multi-dimensional array. So dot series in position 0, let's use 0 for cases, equals corona data dot active cases, right? Or cases till date, right? And then corona data series in position 1, deaths till date, right? So you see, so we have two series. The first series is because these are the two pieces of information that we have available on our database: deaths till date and cases till date. We are going to add active cases and discharge for the time series later on, but this is what we have now at this point in time. So we do that, and the next thing we're going to go and do is to really then publish this data out, right? And then what we then do is we then say, actually what we should be doing is we should say const we should say const corona data corona graph actually we don't need this, so we can just say here what you do is you then say this dot how do we make sure we're doing this the right way? Well, we can use an observable instead. We can time that series, so we can say because that's all we need. So we need to convert this to return data for line graph, which means this observable here will be complaining because it doesn't expect us to data for line graph because we've told it to this is what we're going to be returning. Yeah, let's make it happy. So this way we can return this, and then we can add a share operator somewhere here to share this particular piece of information. And then now, what is happening here again now? Okay, well, just to make this thing happy now, let's just put an any. Come back to it to make it happy. So now we need to replace this with the data. With the data. No, we're not doing donut. We're not changing this particular piece of information here. We are going to so we're not changing this. We're not changing this one as well. We're not changing. This is all we're changing. So we would come here and we would say this is all we're changing, right? And we're saying colon async. This is all we're changing. So let's look at that. Uh-oh, we have a problem. Um, hmm. You know what? We could just directly pass this data here. In it. Or there are two ways we can solve this particular problem because we have an error here. So we can go to the history list and we can make this a behavior subject and say equals new behavior subject, and we can just pass it an array that has two arrays in there, and that should maybe kill the particular error at the beginning. And it has, oh no, it's an object. It's an object that has a data series array and then a data, I guess a label, right? Series and labels. Well, of course, because you cannot convert an observable to be a behavior subject, right? Because what you would be doing instead would be, well, we're beating around the bush with this. What we should do is simply actually remove all of this, right? Comment this out, remove this here, put this here, and just get the data, do what we need to do here, which is basically would say labels dot line area dot data equals simple. That's all we need to do, and then we'd have to subscribe manually. Make sure we're taking this one. Operator. Hit the take operator. Take operator, and then we just subscribe here. We don't do anything with the subscription because we've already done it in the tab. And we can try and see. Ooh, expected at least type data. Oof. Looks to be causing a problem. Oh, look at what was happening here. You can change this. Okay, data normalized series for each is not a function. Maybe in line area 2. Let's see. Let's make sure we're feeding in the correct type of data. So the type is line, the data is the first array, the labels are in the second series. Oh, look at that. This is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. We are not doing it for, we're supposed to be feeding in as much information as possible. So something is wrong here. Oh, look at what we're doing. Oh, look. The push should be pushing. Because we're adding to the array. We're not setting the array there. That's the problem. Right, so here we're saying data line graph dot series. Well, not series here. Labels. Oh no, not series. Yeah, series. In position 0, right? Dot push. Hold on. In position 0. So 0. So basically, we're trying to recreate this particular array. I think I'm getting a little bit confused. The series here. So in position 0 and 1, 0 or 0, 0 or 1. So in position 0 has an array. If you say push in position 0, oh, I see what's going on. We got a little bit confused there. Series here. Here. Okay. So you can see it does work, but we need to get rid of that error. You can see over time, these are the charts. So we have success in terms of like we have actually gone ahead and done this, but it's still not. You can see TypeScript is still thinking. You can cast this as array to get rid of this error. Cast. We could do this. This is a quick fix right now because we're going over time here. And here what we could do is basically set this here. Where is it? The data property to be this. So that when it starts off, it doesn't start off with anything per se, and then it just goes up. We need to provide these numbers as well. So you can see that we have a series of data here. I don't know why the deaths look like it's flat line. Okay, it's gone up a little bit. You can probably do some things about like the colors and stuff like that. We have options. Yo, okay. Oh, okay. So we seem to have. Let's just make sure we're working with the correct amount of data here. what we should be doing actually, I think we need to add add in here within this so that we can see these things clearly. I think we need okay. Huh. This is not very inspect. Yeah, we can remove this. We don't need this anymore. Hmm. Try this defaults. Play around with some of the like the style in the configuration. Let's see. Okay. The way we would do it is hmm. I don't think we're going to get any value from showing the deaths. Doesn't look like we're going to get any value from showing the deaths because in the grand scheme of things, so maybe we should actually remove just the deaths itself. We don't need the data for the deaths. Um, yeah, so this is much more. Yeah, the case has gone up. Let's go to the documentation of this thing. X chart list. Let's go to the documentation. And okay, let's see the type. Maybe not this documentation. Maybe we can go to the demo. Okay. How do we change the colors or options? So these are the options. All right, this is the chart, pie chart. This is the pie chart, bar chart. We are using the line chart, right? So let's see, we can show okay, so looks like today, where is it? Here. We have gotten the cases over time, but I don't know what is going on here, where we want to have we should have the numbers showing. Let me see. It should be 4,000. I don't know why it is not like, let's see. I don't know why it is not, it is being covered. Let's see, would that have to do something with, would that have something to do with this div? So it looks like this div is covering it. This div must have a padding. If we remove that padding, no, it's not the padding. It looks like it's not the padding. It's not the div. It looks like the div itself doesn't have a problem. It might actually be the, oh. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. It might have to be a padding. What is the padding? What is? Ooh, that's interesting. So we need to remove this padding. might just be, let's see, it had a margin of 2. Let's try margin. Seems to be cut off. It has nothing to do with the margins, really. It's just, I guess maybe it gives responsive options. What does the lines move to? So there's a few things we need to figure out. We need to figure out how to show these numbers on the x-axis and the y-axis. I don't know why, what's it called? This is not showing. It's probably just a rendering issue. But I think we have achieved what the most important thing, which is that we actually want, let's see this, what does this change? We achieve this graph of growth, but I think it would not be readable if we don't have those numbers. So we're going to go ahead. We're probably going to stop here today. Thank you very much for coming.